Hello everyone, and welcome to this audio podcast. This audio podcast as part of the Blockade. This audio podcast as part of a Ostix Inquirer. This audio podcast as part of a Ztorm and Ostix assay. This audio podcast as part of the Bookish. This audio podcast as part of a Ztorm Ostix production. In this audio podcast, looking at the research gap and research approach, research gap and research approach and research around the research question and strength and limitations of a research poster presentation by Mohammed and team from 2024. A research poster presentation that was within the remit of UKKW 2024, a publication looking at implementing online space for awareness and research of pediatric and adult nephrology perspectives, pediatric and adult nephrology perspectives, and as part of the research gap and approach. The research poster presentation looks to understand how CKD recipients look to understand sort of medical and scientific terminology, so thus to prompt better healthcare services for both patients and healthcare professionals. As part of the research question, the research poster presentation had several objectives, two of which included, firstly, to understand what CKD topics would healthcare service users like understanding through online services, and secondly, to understand what educational part of CKD care could be secondly to understand what sort of educational aspects of CKD chronic kidney disease or CKD could be international. Additionally, there is a focus on the use of social media and on the RPSG the RPSG, the Renal Patient Support Group, and on point of care education, and where the research poster presentation offers or highlights some aspects in around some solutions, in addition to what is referred to as the POCE, or point of care education concept. The research poster presentation falls within the remit of a scientist's perspective on laboratory medicine and integrated transplant immunobiology services for CKD recipients. As part of the strength of the publication, as part of the strength of the research poster presentation, the research poster presentation highlights the importance of healthcare education and highlights decent examples of PPI, or patient and public involvement. The research poster presentation presents quantitative and qualitative data. Presents quantitative, descriptive, or descriptive data surrounding the RPSG and KDOS, the Kidney Disease and Renal Support Group, or KDOS group, for kids platforms, informing of some of the challenges surrounding POCE and access to healthcare professionals to advance renal disease services. And as part of the limitations, the research poster presentation informs of only some of the challenges surrounding kidney care. That draws this audio podcast to a close. This audio podcast is part of the Blockade. This audio podcast is part of a Ostix Inquirer. This audio podcast is part of a Ztorm and Ostix assay. This audio podcast is part of the Bookish. This audio podcast is part of a Ztorm Ostix production.